Tonight we are talking about accountability. And before certain people start jumping in the comments wanting to point fingers at other people, lack of accountability most certainly goes both ways. Okay? So, that now leads me into the disclaimer. I don't care what your religious beliefs are. I promise you I don't. I think everybody needs to have something that they believe in. All I ask is that you respect everybody else's beliefs and you do not use your spiritual beliefs as a basis for your opinions or your arguments in the conversation this evening. Because whatever religion or spiritual practices you choose to subscribe to only applies to you. Everybody else is not obligated to live their lives according to your spiritual practices. So please show everyone the same respect that you would want. Okay? AJ, next disclaimer, please.
We grown. We grown. Let's have grown conversation, please. The bickering back and forth, stuff like that. The pointing of the fingers, and it does not contribute to the conversation. Let's have grown conversation.
Well, hello, Victor. Thank you. So, with that being said, let's talk about accountability. And the reason why that came up this week is because these two videos are still causing quite a ruckus. They're causing a little bit of a ruckus on my page, and it's bringing energy that normally is not on my page. So it's a little irritating for me because although there are some people that show up in my comment section who are combative and argumentative, most of the people that are in my comment section are typically there for the conversation, which is what I seek. That's the energy that I seek. But because of these two videos that I have done, it has brought a lot of people to my page that normally are not there. And they've brought a lot of negativity and a lot of toxic behavior with them. And with that has come a lot of finger pointing, a lot of name calling, a lot of insults. Hello. And Brandon, we are speaking about accountability and the lack of accountability on both sides, not just one side. So yes, this energy has brought this. It's exhausting is what it is. This negativity that has found its way to my videos. It's exhausting energy, right? And the basis of this energy is because these particular people lack accountability. Because when you lack accountability, you put all the blame on the opposite gender for why things don't work out. If you do not have the ability to look at yourself and look over your past relationship experiences and identify the areas where you could have improved your behavior, you could have improved the way that you responded, you could have improved the way that you handled a situation. There are things about yourself that you could have done differently. So if you don't have the ability to look at yourself and look at your situation and say, you know what, I made this choice right here. And perhaps if I had made a different choice, this situation might have gone a different way. Or my partner may not have responded to me the way that they did had I made a different choice in that moment. So a lot of these people that are out here with this finger pointing and women do this and men do that, you lack accountability. You lack it. You keep saying the other side lacks it, but that only shows that you are the one that lacks the accountability because you can't see what you did in the relationship. You are your own problem. Now I'm going to pause because I thought I saw an excuse being given up here, so I want to go back up really quick. And we know I don't do too well with. Hold on, let me see what I saw. I'm
going to respond to somebody. One question is, how do you make it work with a narcissistic husband? You don't.
Why do you want to?
You don't. Bounce. 2 fingers. Let the doorknob hit him with a good Lord should have kicked him. I'll let your boy.
So I did a response video today where I did a video the other day and I spoke about some of the reasons that women typically leave, because you see the stats get thrown out a lot that, oh, women file for divorce 80% of the time. So I listed some of the reasons that I frequently hear from women, because I'm a nurse, so I work in a female-dominated profession. So when it's just the girl talk conversations, these are the things that women typically complain about when the conversation comes to relationships and men, as well as some of the reasons I listed were the reasons that I left as well. And a woman commented and said, 80% of women file for divorce because 80% of men fail at being a husband. And I was like, whoa, it's a very inaccurate, bold statement to make. So I did a response video today where I went on to say that marriages fail because of a lack of effective communication from both sides. Marriages fail because there's a lack of understanding for and of the opposite gender. Marriages fail because of these people that do not take accountability. This is why marriages fail. When you do not sit here and say, I did this and I could have done that, and it might have given me a different outcome. If you cannot do that, you really don't even need to be dating. There's no need for it.
And I'm going to add to that for people who don't seem to understand what it means to be accountable. That does not mean the other person didn't do shit. I think that's when people get lost into that. It's like, take accountability. If you take accountability for your stuff, that doesn't mean the other person get a pass. If I slap you and if you slap me and I slap you back, the me in that situation was me slapping you back. One may understand why I slapped you back, but that's still the me in that situation. That doesn't mean she didn't slap me first. That's all that means. I think people get lost in that. Like if I take accountability for my actions, then the other person goes scot-free. That's not what it is.
Well, also, is people confuse blame and accountability. People, right. Thank you. Look, my daughter has been trying to steal my shirt from me all day, and I keep telling her, gone somewhere. But people confuse blame and accountability. And so when they hear you need to take accountability, they seem to process that as, oh, you're saying it's my fault. Nobody is saying that it's your fault. What's being said is just take responsibility and accept the fact that you did what you did. Like the example that he used. Okay, yeah, I smacked you because you hit me, but either way, I smacked you, and you have to be accountable for the fact that, yes, I smacked you. And I think that this whole blame really throws people off, and it's not blame. It's understanding that despite what that person did, despite what they did, you did something too. And maybe what you did was unintentional. Maybe you did something subconsciously and you didn't realize that you did something. And maybe they didn't tell you that you did something, but it doesn't mean you didn't do anything. You don't I don't even know how people can be in relationships and walk away and at this age still feel like they never did anything wrong. How is that possible? If you are such a perfect person, then why are you single? Why are your relationships not working out if you have reached such a level of perfection? That many people are fumbling you? Come on now. Come on now.
I want to say something so bad to that, but I'm not.
You should. You should. You know, I don't like the sugarcoat.
You know, fuck it. I'm gonna say it. That Please right do. There, when it comes to women and relationships, it seems to be some type of general consensus, a general understanding amongst women that women don't fuck up relationships. And I, for one, hate that. Like I was talking to a woman about a situation, and she was like, "What did you do?" It's like, I didn't. Well, why you automatically assume I did something? She was like, because that's what men do. Y'all always messing up. And I said, y'all don't mess up.
Who we do we?
And I was like, wait a minute. So I explained to her what happened. She was like, okay, yeah, that was kind of. I said, here's the problem that I see. Not to mention, I've had women tell me this. When you go tell your homegirl about what old boy did to you, she never asks, what did you do? What did you do? Just tell what you did. Take some accountability of what you did. Maybe he wasn't shit. Maybe he wasn't. You responded to his ain't shitness by doing some ain't shit.
Absolutely.
Well, you ain't shit now either.
Absolutely.
I don't understand that. Like I said, it's accountability and blame. Even if it's a response, you still did something. But when it comes to that and the whole taking accountability or just responsibility for what you did, I'm pretty sure a lot of men in this comments can agree with me when I say that's one of the biggest issues we have with women. And I can wholeheartedly say we have an issue with that shit too.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the times where men say it towards women and women say it towards men, it's automatically alleviating me of any blame. But come on, man, we grown.
Absolutely.
You ain't never never fuck up. Come on, man. Come on, seriously, we ain't perfect. Like you said, we're not perfect. You did something in there. Like I had a friend of mine, we've been friends since she was like 14, 15 years old. And she had to tell me about issues with her ex-husband or whatever. So I'm listening to her. Whatever. It was like years of not talking, and we got back in contact with each other. And I said, so what did you do? She looked at me like, well, I said, I've been knowing you since we was 14. I know you got a mouth. Everything he did wasn't because he did it. Some of that shit was in response to you, now, wasn't it? She kind of laughed. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Exactly. So come on.
We've talked about this. I mean, AJ and I have talked about this, and even when him and I have discussed both of our marriages, and I have told AJ, I mean, I'm the type anyways, I'm gonna own up to what I've done, but I've always been like that. The people that have known me forever, they know I will tell you this is what I did. And I've told AJ, yes, my mouth was rough when I was younger. I know I said things that I'm quite certain made him feel emasculated. I know I said things that made him feel, unsafe opening up to me. I'm quite sure I did, because I'm able to look back over the things that happened and analyze the situation and say, you know what? I bet after I said that to him, that's why he started acting like that. And this is why I'm not angry. Oh, no, we're not together. No, we're just friends. Listen.
She's not talking about me right now.
Yeah, no. I'm talking about a conversation when me and AJ speak about our previous marriages. We were both married previously to other people, not each other.
Right.
Do you see how like both of us are? We look more like brother and sister than... We too like to ever be a couple together. We would look like we should be kinfolk, not married folk.
You ever seen mashed potatoes and corn on the plate together?
Have a baby coming out looking like raw chicken. No, that's not necessary. Anyways, the people that know me, I speak about my marriage, right? And it's so funny to me, the comments where I mention my marriage, this video that has gone so viral. There are certain men in the comments that are so angry, and they're saying, oh, well, you're not talking about your part of it. And it's like, well, you only watched one video, because if you were ever on any of my content or even watched any of the videos after that, where I even said, I don't blame my ex-husband for anything that happened. I don't blame him, because I understand what I did. I know the things that I said. I know the things that he did. It doesn't excuse his behavior, but I'm more understanding of the things that he did, because I'm sure much of it was in response or in reaction to things that I was doing. And that's how you have to get to the point. That's how you move on. That's how you let go. When you can sit here and look at your previous relationships and say, you know what? I see why that man knocked me upside my head, because, woo, I probably would have went upside his head too if he said to me what I said to him, because I see why he kind of just, thumped me in my head. No, really, my son's father really did slam me on the hood of the car because of my mouth. And that's not even a lie. That man picked me up by my throat and slammed me on the hood of my car. And I don't fault him. I'm not excusing what he did, but I don't fault him because what I said to him was so damn disrespectful. And I have since apologized to this man. And I'm going to tell y'all exactly what I said to this man. Because if you've been on my lives, you know I'm straight up honest. I'm going to tell you what I said to this man. He was sitting in his mother's room. And I remember I walked in the room. He was sitting on the bed watching TV. I don't even know why I was mad. Go ahead. I want you to guess before I tell you what I said. I want you to go ahead and guess because I don't think you're ready for what I said to this man, but I want you to go ahead and guess. And I want you to actually keep in mind, I was about 21 at the time. I was about 21 when this conversation happened. I'm going to give him a few more minutes to type it out. He wants to guess what I said to this man. I'm going to give him a few more seconds. I want him to type it up before I actually tell y'all what I said. Because I'm going to be straight up. I'm going to tell you exactly what I said to him. And this man looked at me after I said it. And I knew I fucked up.
So that man, fuck you and your mama. Like, wait a minute.
No,
Wait
I
a
didn't.
minute.
No,
Wait a minute.
because I took off running the way he looked at me. I took off running right on out the house, and he was right behind me, too. He was right behind me. All right, he's taking too long. So, I walk in the room. He's sitting there watching TV. I don't even know why I'm mad. I have no idea what I'm pissed off. I don't even remember to this day what I was so mad about. And I looked at him.
Didn't even know that day.
Looked at him. Oh, I know this is about to sound so horrible, but it's the truth. I looked at him and said, I can't wait till the day you die so I can spit on your fucking grave. And that's why he chased me out the house and grabbed me by my throat and slammed me on the hood of the car. So.
You know, you done told me some crazy shit, but you ain't never told me that one. That's messed up.
And I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm not laughing because it's funny. And I promise you, I have since apologized to him. You know, we've had a conversation. We did some wild stuff to each other. We had a very toxic relationship. So I have apologized for things. I'm only laughing because, you know, that whole hindsight thinking back, it's like, man, you a wild girl. You lucky that's all he did was slam you on the hood of the car. Because
tell you what.
Your mouth. And so when I say I don't fault my ex-husband, because me and my ex-husband, you know, we were married for like 11 years. And them first few years, oh, you best believe I said some rough things. And, you know, like I'm honest, you know, me and my son, I've talked about this before. We speak about it. My son's 21 and he has asked me, he's like, Mom, what have you said? What did you say back then? And I told him straight up and he's like, damn, Mom. I'm like, I know, you know what I'm saying? If your father hates me, I completely understand why. Like, I'm not angry. I get it. I know my mouth. I was hella disrespectful when I was younger. This is why now, if I'm angry or irritated or upset, I tell my man real quick, I'm going to talk to you when I calm down because I don't want to create unnecessary problems. And see that right there, what a lot of women don't understand, that's what you call respect.
I was about to say that.
That's what you call respect. To look at your man and say, you know what? I'm angry right now, and I don't want to speak to you in that tone. I don't want to speak to you with anger in my voice because I love you and respect you too much to speak to you disrespectfully. That's how you show respect. That's being respectful of your man. That's being respectful of the relationship. To say, hey, I know I'm angry. And before I disrespect you, I'm going to walk off and shut my mouth. And I will come back when I'm in a more rational state and I can have a mature conversation with you about the way that I'm feeling and the situation at hand. That's how you handle a disagreement with your partner.
That's called effective communication, for those who didn't know.
It is. And it's also called emotional intelligence, which y'all love to scream about, but you rarely show it, which is evidenced by the way y'all be acting in my comment section. Sorry, I got to vent a little bit tonight. They irking my nerves.
Hey. It ain't in my comments, and I get frustrated by that. I deal with insomnia. So some nights I be up just to be up. For no apparent freaking reason. TV don't be on, nothing.
I'm breathing, Brandon. I'm breathing, man. Why they won't go away? keep bringing all the toxic energy and it's suffocating. They need to go.
They come in
I'm gonna be
territory.
like,
You know what I'm saying? You popular now. You a lottery pick. You popular.
I'm gonna be okay. I just gotta woosah. Woosah.
I be just looking at random stuff sometimes on Google. I be just Googling stupid stuff. This particular night, I was on TikTok. I was scrolling through TikTok till like 5 in the morning. And when I tell you I got so freaking tired of just video after video after video after video of just talking shit towards each other. Like, where are the damn video? I think my algorithm switches up too, because sometimes it don't be very much of that stuff. And then tomorrow I come on there, like this morning I was on it, and it was back a lot of. I'm like, I ain't seen this stuff in a couple of weeks. What's going on?
Depends
That
on what
particular
you've been
night,
watching.
huh?
Depends on what you've been watching, and also like if people are sending certain types of videos to you and you click it and you
See,
watch it,
that's probably what it is.
that will affect your algorithm.
I don't look. I just let it. Whatever comes up, comes up. And sometimes I can go a couple days and I won't see none of the gender war shit. That particular night, it was just one after the next, after the next. And I'm like, good Lord. I literally got so tired of it. I said, just put the phone down and go to sleep. And I just laid there and listened for like another hour until I fell asleep. Like, it gets on my nerves. Like, everybody want to blame everybody else.
You know what I
Like,
noticed?
fix
And
you first.
I typically keep my stuff not race related. And I say it all the time, my content is not race specific because it's not. But what I have noticed is that when my algorithm switched to where there are more non-melanated people on my algorithm, I see way more types of topics than what I typically see on my algorithm from those that are melanated. And I just think it's an interesting observation. And okay, and I'm not generalizing saying that it is this way. Because I understand that it is subjective to my algorithm. But what I have noticed, not that I don't see any gender war videos from non-melanated people, I don't see as many from them.
Every single one I saw that night was from melanated folk. It was 17. And I said, you know what? I was counting. I started counting after I seen God knows how many before. I stopped counting. Well, actually, I kept score. It was 17-6. So it was 17 plus 6, 23. It was 23.
So it's not just me. It's not just us. She said, I purposely went to the non-melanated TikTok because it's more peaceful. That's crazy. That's so sad because why? Why do we have so much anger and hatred amongst it? I mean, I know some of the
It
reasons
was set
why.
up that way.
I know,
Part
but
of it was
at the
part of
end
it
of
was
the
set up that
day,
way.
when you know better, you should do better. And if you
Thank
keep
you.
talking about what the problem is, why are you not coming up with a viable solution? Why are you
And
still
that's why
talking
I
about the
have
problem?
that's why I have what I have at the start of the look.
He
This
said they annoying, but
solution-based
less bull.
conversation.
Oh, I have found some very interesting ones. I found this young man. He's like 18, I think, but he lives in Japan, and so he makes videos like showcasing what life is like over there, and just showing different things. And I quite enjoy his page. I'm like, this is very interesting.
Hold up. It's perpetuated by single mother households. No, the fuck it's not. It's
Missed that
perpetuated by
disclaimer.
everybody. It's perpetuated by single mother households. It's perpetuated by two-parent households. It's perpetuated by baby daddies, baby mamas. It's perpetuated by everybody.
Wait,
It's not.
AJ.
It's just not.
You can't say it's perpetuated by single mother households because you have men who are also participating in and continuing, or not continuing, I'm sorry. They're participating in and continuing with this anger and this hatred. And if that is not the case, well, then I would encourage you to go look at a few of my videos that I've done in this past couple weeks and go look at the anger that these men have because of what I said and the way that they're speaking. You say they're raised by single mothers, but They're grown men and they're making choices for themselves. So how long are you going to blame your upbringing for the way that you act as an adult? And this is why we're talking about lack of accountability, because like I said, people that want to point the finger at the other gender without taking accountability for what their gender does as well lacks accountability themselves. Because if you can't see how this is a two-sided problem, it's not just women, because you have to have men participating. And if you have single mothers, well, sir, who made the babies? Somebody had to participate. So I'm not going to dwell on this any further. And if you want to continue to have divisive dialogue, I'll block you and you can go have that dialogue somewhere else. But it's not going to happen here, because that's not what this is for. We speak solutions. We talk about the whys so people can gain understanding so they can do better. If you want to place blame on somebody, go do it elsewhere. I'm not here for that, but you got a whole bunch of folks on TikTok that thrive on it. Go feed off of that energy. Okay? Not doing it. I'm so tired of y'all grown folks getting up on this damn social media and you want to beat your chest talking about how grown you are, but you communicate worse than a child. I have better conversations with my 11-year-old twins than most of the people on this app because they can't grasp simple concepts. It's wild. Like, seriously? You mean to tell me that my 11-year-olds have better comprehension than people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s? I mean, I know I homeschool, but damn. Are my children that far advanced? Is their emotional intelligence and their intelligence overall just, y'all supposed to be grown. Mm-hmm. Y'all are supposed to be the ones setting the example for the younger people. And yet you still sitting here pointing blame and the finger at somebody else instead of talking about how to avoid getting into these situations and how to get out of them. No, I wasn't sleeping at all. I wasn't sleeping. But as I just said, why do y'all folks want to keep focusing on the problems? Why do y'all want to keep pointing the finger and talking about the blame of who did what? Because there are reasons for behavior. So if you're not going to discuss why men are doing the things that they're doing, if you're not going to discuss why women are doing the things that they're doing, then all you're doing is wasting your breath and everybody's time. I use y'all loosely. If you felt like it was directed towards you, then that's a personal problem. I know they are, and I'm about to start blocking. This is why I block folks, because they bring that bullshit energy and they leech off of people.
Have you? I know you noticed this, but I'm gonna fucking say it. How long have you been doing this?
Over a year now, or about a year, something like that. Oh, over a year.
And whenever we do these lives and we get these comments, 99% of the time it's from men. How many women have you had to block?
I don't think I've had to block a woman. Maybe one. I think maybe one.
And as a man, I'm sad to even hear that. I feel a bit embarrassed and ashamed. To every time we do these lives, it's men.
Most of my block list on TikTok is men.
It's men most of the time.
Seriously.
And it's crazy because as a man, and even Sunshine has agreed with me on this, whenever we had these conversations, us against them, and we as men, we say, this is why we can't have the conversations, because there's always a woman who gets emotionally triggered, and then she wants to argue. We as men say that. But we've been doing these lives for over a year, and you've only had to block one woman. It's always the men. I'm personally embarrassed and ashamed of that. Because as a man, I feel like as a man, you're supposed to be bigger and better than that. Personally.
Oh, hold on. Well, to be honest, this is the first time men really start speaking up, not to say it's right. Well, hold on, sir. Because there's nothing wrong with you speaking up. But when you what you call speaking up, if that includes you attacking and belittling and being disrespectful and being combative and argumentative. Hold on a second.
Hey, bro, you obviously don't get no coochie.
Because I was trying to ignore him and just keep going on, but he kept going on in the comments like a fucking bitch.
There it
That's
is.
the shit
You
I'm talking about.
did it
Y'all be
now.
running your mouths like a fucking bitch. Nah, 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 nah. And da 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 da. And da 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 da. And da 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 da. Shut the fuck up. Y'all sound like fucking bitches. I swear to God. Like, huh. You know, and I realized the reason why it aggravates me so much is because I literally don't deal with men like this in real life. I do not deal with men like this in real life. I don't deal with women that act like this in real life. So when men show up acting like little bitches, that shit really, I'm not gonna lie to you, that shit really aggravates me because it's like, sir, pull your damn panties out your coochie and sit down and act right. What the hell is wrong with you? That should be so aggravating because
Understand it,
it's
man.
like I expect the behavior from women, but for men to sit here and just you want to
It's crazy. Like, we say as men the shit that we hate that women do. And in the last couple of years, men are doing the exact same thing that we hate when women do. And a good majority of the men that do it is these dudes walking around beating their damn chest. I'm an alpha male. I'm a real man. It's fucking sad.
and they do it worse than women. They do it more than women. You didn't miss much. You just missed, some of. I don't know if you saw the video the other day where I said, and this is actual scientific fact from a doctor. Because if you don't know, I really do study like psychology and neuroscience and stuff for fun. This is what I like to do. So I quoted a doctor who said that when men feel powerless, there's an enzyme called aromatase. And aromatase converts testosterone, the male hormone, into estrogen, the female hormone. And this is why you have these men that get on social media and like to say stupid stuff like, that's why you're gonna die alone with cats. That's why nobody wants you. That's why you've hit the wall. Or the fool that got up there and the insults. Then y'all insult people like you're in third grade. Why? You
What is this, high school?
not even high school. Dude called himself insulting me because he said I had a jacked up grill. Sir, are we in fucking elementary school? Like, seriously? And then to play the colorism card. Oh, well, if you wouldn't even get no play if you want light skin. Sir, how old are you? That right there tells me your testosterone is converting into estrogen because you're acting like a fucking bitch. And in those cases, when women call men bitches, I think it's absolutely earned and it's deserved. Because if you act like a
I
bitch, you're going to
personally
get
can't
called a
stand it.
bitch.
But if you acting like one, and we as men will tell a woman right quick, if you acting like a bitch, well, sir, if you acting like a bitch, don't get mad when somebody call you one.
Dr. John Gray. He's actually, if you've ever heard Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, he is the author who wrote that. He has given several lectures. He's written several books. He even wrote an updated one to speak on modern relationships. I love his stuff. I've watched probably about all of his lectures. It's a couple different psychologists and neuroscientists that I study their stuff. So, but yes, see, and this is why I said that energy is exhausting because those type just show up and they suck the life out of everything, and it's like, yo, go away because you clearly don't want solutions. You want to argue, and you are part of the problem. And we're trying to move past that.
Not to
We want to
mention,
get past that.
you can tell who actually knows what they're talking about versus the people who just regurgitating the shit they hear on podcasts or social media. Because that's what a majority of them do. They regurgitate the shit that they heard. You can't articulate it for yourself. Because let's be honest about it, a good majority of these dudes weren't talking like that prior to 3-4 years ago.
It's ridiculous.
Let's get back on point. We ain't gonna talk about them dudes no more.
Yes, because the topic at hand is lack of accountability, which, as I said earlier, it's these type of people who, when you point the finger at the other side, you are showing that you are in fact the person who lacks accountability. So that's the topic that we're on. That's what we're discussing. I know I blocked one. I don't think the other one said anything else. So the one that kept running their mouth, I got him up out of here. He had to go. Had to go.
Yeah, we just ignoring those comments for the rest of the live.
Okay,
But
so back to taking accountability for things. Like you mentioned, matter of fact, AJ and I had a conversation earlier, and we were talking about people getting married young and whose fault is it when a marriage ends, and we were just talking about those general things. And what I said to him was, I don't feel like there's really fault, right? Like when I look back over my marriage, I don't place fault. I don't sit here and say, watch this. Watch this. Hold on. There you go. There you go. Don't block anyone. Let them speak. Shut the fuck up and goodbye. Now. There we go. Anyways, I think that when you're in a marriage or even a long-term relationship and it doesn't work out, there's not necessarily fault there, right? Especially if you're somebody who got married young, which was more specific to the conversation him and I were having. I got married at 20 and my ex-husband was 23. I can't sit here and say it's his fault that the marriage ended. We were 20 and 23 years old. What did we really know about life? What did we really know about ourselves? What did we really know about the role that we were stepping into? The one thing I said to AJ, sometimes I sit and I think about the fact my son's 21 and I look at him and I'm like, wow, at 21, I was married and I had 3 children. And I look at my son and I'm like, there's no way in hell he could handle that type of responsibility. And then I look at myself and say, I didn't really know what kind of responsibility I was getting into at such a young age, right? I did not know what that role entailed, being a wife and a mother. To be 20 years old and you're still learning yourself, you're trying to meet these expectations that society has set. You're trying to meet his expectations. You're trying to define yourself. That's a lot of pressure for anybody, male or female. That's a lot of pressure. Not many of us are equipped with the necessary tools to effectively communicate with our partner at a young age. Many of us don't know how to express to our partner, hey, this is how I'm feeling and this is what I need from you. And so we hold it in and you hope they kind of figure it out because, as you see, a lot of people say, well, they should know. But they don't, because everybody's different and we all come from different backgrounds and we've all had different experiences and we all need different things. Like some people are more affectionate than others. So if you're somebody that requires a lot of affection, oh, there's the other one. Well, let me hold off before I do that. If you're somebody that requires a lot of affection and you're in a relationship with somebody who's not very affectionate, and you're just assuming that they know that you require a lot of affection, well, eventually you're going to start to feel a little bit of resentment because you're going to feel like, well, I'm not getting what I need from them. But that could have been avoided if you had the proper tools to communicate how you're feeling with them. But a lot of people don't know how. And oftentimes that can be related to your childhood experiences. Say you grew up in a house. Yes, that would be love languages, yes. But say you grew up in a house where every time you went to your parent, the minute you opened your mouth, your parents started yelling at you, or every time you went to go say something to them, you got in trouble or you got hit. You're going to grow up and become an adult that keeps everything inside because you were taught as a child that anytime you try to express yourself, it comes with bad consequences. And this is the type of stuff that people don't think about, or they don't realize, or they don't know. It's not as cut and dry as folks want it to be. Oh, well, you should talk. Absolutely, you should talk. But not everybody was taught how to communicate. If everybody understood how to effectively communicate, these stupid podcasts wouldn't be all over YouTube, increasing the divisiveness that's already going on. Let's see. I just started to learn effective communication. There's a lot of socioeconomical differences and breakdown in society is evident on TikTok. Yes. And, you know, I did the video on that the other day where I said a lot of people overlook that when determining for compatibility in a partnership. It can work if you come from two different backgrounds. And depending on how different and what those differences are, you might be setting yourself up for disaster. If you are somebody who you grew up in a house where you believe in corporal punishment and you're dating somebody who doesn't believe in corporal punishment and y'all have a child, well, guess what? Your backgrounds are about to clash. Because now what? One partner wants to whoop the child. The other partner doesn't believe in whooping the child. Those are the type of things people need to pay attention to. If you are somebody, you grew up in a middle-class environment and you go date somebody who grew up in poverty and they're comfortable in poverty, you're going to clash. Because you're not going to feel fulfilled, and they're going to be comfortable with less, whereas you're going to feel like you're still wanting. It's not always going to work.
That's a perfect example. Me and my ex-wife, she grew up in a two-parent household. I grew up in a single mother household in the hood. So we got married. I had the conversation with her about that. And I was like, look, you understand there's certain things you bring to the table I don't know. And there's certain things I bring to the table you don't know. Let's put these things together. And it's like she would never take me and what I had to say into consideration. And I don't know what I'm not saying that was the reason because of our upbringings. But what I'm saying is the way we thought about stuff was completely different. Not to mention, was she grew up in a two-parent household. She's also a military brat. I grew up single mother household in the hood. We have a completely different thought process on things. And we clashed a lot. Like the opposites attract thing was cute at first, but after a while it became a real big problem.
Yeah. Let me go back to that comment. The first one is 2 comments. Not only poverty, but also a poverty and decomposed mindset. Yes. And that's why I specified if they're comfortable in it. Because some people grow up in poverty and they say, you know what? This is not the life I want. I don't want to stay like this. I don't want to bring children into this. I'm going to do something different. They're not comfortable. But some people do become comfortable with a poverty mindset. How do you accept someone you care for whose values differ? Well, sometimes you have to accept them and release them, right? Like I said in the video about me leaving my marriage. And a lot of people are like, why you leave if he wasn't doing this and he wasn't doing that? And part of it is because we differed so much. We did not see life the same. He was comfortable because of his background and where he came from. He was comfortable because he felt like, well, these kids have more than what I ever had in life. So he was okay. I, on the other hand, was like, well, these kids don't have what I had in life. I'm not comfortable. And we could never see eye to eye on that. Our ambition didn't match up. Our drive didn't match up. That caused a lot of issues, the way that we viewed our roles in the household, because what I was used to and because what I witnessed, he did not witness those same things. So his values of our roles in the household, they weren't the same. That causes a problem. After a while, I'm talking about 11 years, it got to the point where it's like, you know what? This is just becoming more and more toxic. I can accept you, and I accept you for who you are. But I also have to accept that you and I are no longer aligned and we're not compatible because we don't have the same goals. We're not on the same path. We can't find our way to the same path. People sometimes think that because a marriage ends, it means you didn't try. No, sometimes you just have to accept that you really did grow apart. You really did grow in 2 different directions. Like, is it ideal for y'all to grow in the same direction and have a happily ever after? Sure, everybody wants that. Does it always happen? No, because you grow. And if you both started on a level 2, and this person kept consistently working and they made their way up to a level 8, and you only did a little bit of work and now you're a level 3, how long do you want this person that made it to level 8 to wait for you to catch up because you didn't want to do the work at the same pace or in any amount of time to stay on pace with them? Is that person supposed to stay unfulfilled? So meanwhile, you stay down here on a 3 and they're supposed to be here at an 8 and they never get any of that love and care in between? How is that fair? So in situations like that, sometimes you have to accept, you know what? We have gone as far as we can go together. This experience brought me what I needed it to bring me. I have learned, I have grown, and there's no further that I can go with you because you have reached your ceiling. What do you want to do with somebody that reached their ceiling that doesn't want to go any further? There's nothing you can do but release them in love. So sometimes, yeah, you can care, and you have to care from a distance. Yeah, thank you. I told her my daughter's been trying to steal my shirt all day. She was like, "Where you get that shirt for? I've never seen you wear it." But I bought this shirt like 2 years ago, and then I started putting on weight and couldn't fit it. I wore this shirt one other time before today. So clearly my February fasting is going well. This is my last week of fasting. I have a severe problem with talking to women in a way that is effective.
Hold
Well,
on. Before you respond to that, because I was going to respond to that. I was going to respond to that.
oh, go ahead.
That's Andy B1. You have a severe problem with talking to women. All right. So explain in the comments, specify what you mean by that, because I think I know what you're going to say.
And while you're
Specify.
explaining, oh, go ahead.
Huh?
I was about to say, while you're explaining, the only thing I was going to say is this is also why I started holding group sessions. So if you have specific questions, there's 3 days, 3 different times. You can sign up on the Linktree. You can remain anonymous. It's all Google. It's via Google Meet. You want to keep your camera off, that's fine with me because I understand some people are introverted. Some people are very insecure about talking about certain things. They don't want to be judged. I get it. That's the purpose of the group sessions. Remain anonymous. Ask your questions. Okay.
Me personally, in that issue, I have had issues with communicating with women in the past, and I still do to this day. But maybe this is the man in me. I know that I'm good at communication. That's something I prided myself on when I was in the 12th grade. I had a teacher, Coach Lassiter, and I loved the way he spoke. And I would talk to him about it, whatever. He gave me some life lessons about speaking and all that stuff like that. So I made it a point to learn how to speak, communicate, connect, and this, that, and the third. I made it a point to do that. So my thing is this: people understand effective communication is not just how I say it to you, but it's also how you receive it. So if I'm steadily explaining myself, and it just ain't clicking, eventually I'm just gonna stop talking to you. And I get called an asshole for that. I'm sorry, but I don't know another way to explain it to you. So you can't keep having these comments. So I've had those issues in the past. I have not had as many issues that I have, as far as most people, I'm pretty cool. It'd be a handful I come across every now and then, and just like, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I'll preface it. Look, I don't know another way to say this, but this, that, and the third. And sometimes some people, you have to give it to them blunt. You have to give it to them straight. Some people don't understand like men. Give it to us straight. We don't like to take the scenic route. So a lot of the times we as men try to do the same thing to women, and a lot of times they don't get it like that.
And I'm a blunt, straight shooter. Women tell me I'm mean all the
If
time. They
I
tell me
give
I'm
you
harsh.
different examples and I'm trying to explain to you what I'm saying and you still ain't get it, I'm done talking.
Hold on, let me go back a little bit. I think I hope I'm not messing up your, let me just say the last name, Kendall. I think you were asking, or you were referring to my previous marriage, because I see you said it's easy to tell someone how to leave when you're happy. And listen, I responded to something with the video, and I stated in that video, making the decision to leave my marriage was not an easy decision at all. And I have said many times, it was one of the hardest decisions that I have ever had to make in my life, because I fully understood that I was the one who was choosing to end the marriage. No matter what the outcome was, that was going to fall on me. If life got worse for me and my children, they were going to blame me. And I fully understood the choice that I was making. I had to be accountable all the way around. No matter how things turn out, I'm making that choice. That's not an easy decision, which is why I weighed a lot of things out before I made that decision. I asked myself a lot of hard questions, and I had to be extremely honest with myself about the situation that I was in and what that situation was teaching my children about relationships, and did I want them to model that? So it's not easy. And anybody who says it is, well, if they think it's easy to just get up and leave a marriage after you've been there for years and you've created a family and you think that that's where you're going to be at, nobody could have told me back then that I would have walked away. I never thought that marriage was going to end, and I'm the one that ended it. And I never thought the marriage was going to end, because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to sit here and know you've spent your entire adult life with somebody and this is all that you've known, but you've become comfortable. You became comfortable in that relationship because you knew each other, you knew the ins and outs of that person. So it was easier to stay, not necessarily better. It was easier to stay. It's very hard to leave because you don't know what's on the other side of that door. You don't know what you're walking into. You don't know what the outcome is going to be. You don't know. But for me, what I knew was that the life that I had already been living, I knew where it had led me. And where it led me was into another suicidal depression, where I became suicidal after I hadn't been for about 10 years. So where it led me was to me realizing that it was literally becoming life and death for me if I stayed in that marriage or if I went. So even though I didn't know what was on the other side, I knew there had to be life on the other side, because there was death if I stayed. And I couldn't do that to my children. So I had to leave. So please, it's not easy. And if you think that me speaking about it makes it seem like it was easy, no, ma'am. I had many a nights where I broke down crying. Now, I've never regretted my decision to leave. Not one time have I ever regretted it. But to think that it was easy to just end the life that you've known since you were 20 years old, no, that's not easy. Not at all. Do we have one of the, is that a BAN in the comments again?
What I missed? No, I don't think so.
You sure? What made the marriage so bad? All right. I say this all the time. And every time I say this, y'all men don't listen to me. You don't want to hear me, and you keep wanting to argue with me every single time. The number one reason that women leave marriages and relationships, the number one reason why women say I'm not happy or irreconcilable differences, is because they do not feel emotionally secure with that man. She does not feel safe and secure with him. And I keep saying this, and men want to keep arguing with me. And they keep telling me, we know how to be an emotional safe space for women. Well, if you did, then you wouldn't have 80% of women filing for divorce. So when I tell you that you don't know how to be an emotional safe space in a way that women need from you, you don't. Because this is why women are leaving you. Because we have reached a day and age where, when it comes down to it, the gender roles are not what they used to be. And I understand it might be confusing for men right now, because your whole life you've been told that you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do that. I get that. But as with everything that is man-made, things change. Gender roles have changed over the years in general. So what makes you think that they're not ever going to change? And because society has changed, women are at a point they don't necessarily need men in the same capacity as they did before. Not to say that men aren't valuable or that men don't have a place. In the same capacity. Meaning previously, women could not work. Previously, women could not file for divorce. Previously, women could not rent houses and things like that. You were pretty much dependent upon men. You did not have as many options for yourself. So at this stage of the game, where women now have the ability to make their own money, to provide their own housing, to be self-sufficient adults, because I don't like the independent narrative. So I'm not going to use that word, because we should all be self-sufficient adults. But if I am a self-sufficient adult, then what I need from you as my partner is to be an emotional safe space. Because what are we doing together if you're not my support person and my companion? Isn't that why we're doing life together? So we can be here for each other doing the good and the bad? So we can sit here and say, you know, damn, I'm going through this and it's hurting me and this is a painful experience. And you can say, hey, I got you. And when you're going through something, I do the same thing for you. Is that not the point of us having a partner, to have somebody to walk with and do life with? So if a man is not providing that emotional safe space, then please explain to me why you think a woman is going to choose you, or why you think she's going to want to remain in a relationship with you. Because if I'm able to be self-sufficient and do everything in my home that you do in your home, what is the purpose of having you in my life if you're not providing value in the way that I need it? The only value that I really need from you is the companionship aspect, to care about me, to love me, for me to feel safe with you. And that's the part that a lot of men are not hearing. Women are not feeling safe with you. That's really the bottom line. And it's like, I don't know how many times I have to say it. I don't know how many times I can reword it and express it. Like, I don't understand why. I do kind of understand why men struggle with this, but at the same time, it's like, golly, when is it going to start to click? You're going to have to learn how to deal with your emotions so that you can be emotionally available for a woman as well. You cannot be in a healthy relationship if you as a man are not emotionally available, because she's going to sense that. She's going to feel it. And then it's going to put her on guard, and she's not going to feel safe with you. Like, the way that men need respect and appreciation is the way that women need security. We want physical security. We want emotional security. We want mental security. We want to know that we are safe with you. When we feel safe, we'll do anything for you. When we know we're safe with you, I put up a post yesterday, the day before. I said, having a man that you can trust, when he says to you, I got you, I'm here, you're not alone anymore. Having a man that you can trust to say that to you, and not trust just because he says it, but you can trust because everything in his actions has shown you that you can trust him. Everything in his actions shows you that he says what he means and he means what he says. He's a man of his word, and he does. He just does. That, having a man that does that, is top fucking tier. Men that do that are not the men that are complaining about not getting things from their woman. Those men that understand how to be an emotional safe space for their woman are not out here complaining about what they're not getting, because these men do. And they understand that you have to provide that for her. And when you provide that for her, she will respect you, and she will give you all of those things that you're complaining that you don't get. Those things don't come just because. Women do those things when they feel safe with you, when they feel secure with you. That's when you get her ultimate respect and appreciation. Not all this other simple bullshit that y'all be talking about up here, because you don't know. If you knew what the hell you were talking about, you wouldn't be up here with these stupid ass podcasts.
Okay. 2 comments I
You
want to
know, I
respond
knew I was
to.
going to have some vent sessions tonight. I'm sorry. I'm sick of the damn exhausting energy that they brought to my page. Like, grow up.
2 comments I want to respond to. I think your name is Candy. I'm sorry if I got. Okay, yeah, Candy 0626. Not a lot of being taught this. And I think you're talking about men in emotional safe space. Let me explain to you why we're not being taught this. Sunshine already explained it. Things have changed. I can't understand how everything we do changes with time. Everything we do. We don't do shit the same now that we did 30 years ago. Everything changes with time. And for some reason, a lot of people think relationships are supposed to stay the same. And they're not. Things have changed. So our parents taught us what they thought we needed to know or didn't teach us a damn thing. And compared to what they taught us or didn't teach us, things have changed since then.
A lot.
So I can teach my son and my daughters everything I know, and by the time they get my age, shit will change again. It's the same way that a lot of women are not being taught what to do to get and keep a man.
Or what
It's the same
respect looks
thing.
like to a man. And I say that all
Right.
the time.
And
Women
you're
do
not taught
not
that
know
because
what respect looks like to a man.
at the time it didn't need to be taught. You know what I'm saying? Things have changed. Now we know. And for some reason, a lot of men are arguing the fact that, well, this is what we need. And somehow for another, men hit a fucking wall where they can't see past what somebody told them. Now, Mr. Don, sir, I'm gonna need you to stop watching red pill content. Just stop watching it.
I'm about to hit that one because
Sir, stop watching red pill content for about 5 or 6 months. Just stop. Stop watching the Donovan Sharps and stop watching the alpha male strategies and stop watching these people. Get you some women that you can really talk to and have conversations with them. Because these are the same men who say a man and a woman can't be platonic friends. And what that tells me is you as a man, you don't have a woman in your corner that can give you the game. You don't have a woman in your corner that can give you some unbiased advice about what you're doing right or wrong. Because
and you don't have dick discipline.
And it lets me know you don't have dick discipline. So, sir, Mr. Don, I'm not picking on you. I'm not talking junk. Get out the red pill space for about 5 or 6 months and talk to some women who can articulate to you effectively and intelligently what's going on. Because you can, I see now you watch a lot of red pill content. You watch a lot of it. Get out of that shit, bro. Get out of it. Find you some women to talk to.
All right. He's gone.
Cool.
He's gone. Because I'm not. I was like, all right, I think you're trolling. I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait because I try to give people chances, but I told you I'm not here for that energy. If you're not here to talk solutions and actually have a conversation, go away. And to sit here and say you're married and have children and you're still spewing the negative bullshit, I feel for those children because what are you teaching them?
He probably agreed with the guy on the podcast earlier this week that said he tells his daughter the most important thing for her to do is find a good man. He says he said he told his daughter, he tells his daughter that shit. Yeah. I was gonna further my point. There's a girl I watch on TikTok, and I like her videos because she's not male or female specific. She goes on both. But one of the things she said, huh?
The psychologist?
No, it's Dana Dane. I forgot. She got numbers after her name. But she does men and women. She get in both y'all ass. She get in both our ass. So she said one particular video, the type of man she does not like. If a man is cool with a lot of females, like friends, what that tells her is he's a whack man. Like, what did you do for all these women to put you in the friend zone? And I'm like, damn, I agree with a lot of your stuff. But that right there is bullshit. I said all that to add to the point I was making to Candy. We weren't taught that, just like y'all weren't taught some things. So if she honestly think in her head that a man having female friends, platonic friends, means he's a weak man, he's lacking something, that all these women put him in the friend bubble, what the hell? So you also believe that a man can't be friends with a woman because he wants something. Maybe you speaking from a personal experience, but I have been the go-to guy for several women. God knows how many women since I was a teenager. Two of my best friends, one over 30 years, one almost 30 years, are women. I don't understand that. I like Dana. Dana is cool as shit. I like a lot of her videos. But when she said that, that lets me know she missed something. Because what she's going to run into is a lot of these rah, 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 I'm an alpha male, hear me roar type dudes, instead of a dude that can actually sit down and talk to you like a woman's supposed to be spoken to.
Well, that also is on that flip side of that is the stereotype that women that have a lot of male friends must be sleeping with all of them, or all of the men want to sleep with her. And that has always irritated me because me being someone who I was raised by men. So being around men is a very comfortable energy for me. It's what I'm used to. It's how I was raised. It's what I know. So when I get around a group of women, it's slightly foreign to me sometimes, especially if they're like really, really girly women. I don't know what to do with that. I grew up with men. I was a tomboy. I don't
Exactly.
know what to do with that. Like, I have always been the chick. You'll see me sitting at the table with the boys, and I've always been treated just like the homie. It's like they don't really, I mean, I'll sit there and they will have conversations like there's not a woman in the midst, and I will sit there and crack jokes right with them. They really will treat me like I'm just one of the homies, and it just is what it is. And the thing about it, where I think women don't understand when it comes to having a friendship with a man that respects you as a person is not going to cross those friendship boundaries. Now, it's your responsibility to set those boundaries and to maintain those boundaries because, yes, a man is a man. So even though he might be your friend, maybe there is a part of him that's like, you know what? If I ever get the chance, I'm not the bottom out that. But I respect her. I respect our friendship. I respect the boundary that she let me know that that's not what this is. So I'm not going to cross that line because I know where I stand with her and I value the friendship that we have. Men that respect you as a person have the ability to do that. And I'm in a relationship. My male friends, my man knows about them. There's not one male friend I have that he does not know about. He's very aware of who they are. And we were talking the other day, and I told him, I said, in all honesty, the men that I'm friends with, they don't cross that line with me. When they found out I was in a relationship, any of them that might have had any type of just jokes, because listen, some of us, we have jokes. Like, we're not going to sit here and act like people don't joke. That stopped. When I got in a relationship, not one of them has made any type of sexual joke towards me because they respect the fact that I'm with somebody. They respect my relationship and they respect me. And they understand that my boundary is if you can't respect my relationship and the man that I'm with, you don't need to be in my life. And they know that. So they respect that line that I drew. Not one of them has tried to cross that line with me. Not one. It is possible. The man has to respect you. And you have to be able to lay those boundaries and enforce those boundaries. Because you might have one or two that's going to test it because he's a man. He wants to see, does she really mean it? I mean, she gave me the boundary, but does she really mean that boundary? And usually once you reinforce it, then he's like, okay. Are you saying these men would cross the line if they could?
Some will.
Yeah, I was about to say some will, but the point is, all right, so here's the thing. Hypothetically, because me and AJ don't look at each other like this, but hypothetically, let's say I was sexually attracted to AJ. My sexual attraction has nothing to do with AJ. So therefore, if I were to be sexually attracted to him, I don't ever have to bring it up to him. I don't ever have to say a word to him. He never has to know that that's how I feel or that I have these thoughts, because I can respect the fact that he drew a line there and that's not something that he's interested in having from me, but I can still view him as a person. So even if these men do feel some type of way, if there's respect, they don't ever have to let it be known that they have a sexual attraction. And just because you have a sexual attraction to somebody doesn't mean you actually want to act on it or that you will. It's just acknowledging, hey, I would do it. We're humans. Are you really going to sit here and act like just because you're in a relationship, you never ever have a sexual thought about another person? Get the hell out of here.
I can't stand that there.
Get out of here. Me and my man joke about that type of stuff because it is what it is. You're a human at the end of the day. It doesn't change the way I feel about the man that I'm with. It doesn't mean that you're going to go cheat on your partner. It's no different than a man walking down the street and seeing a fat ass and being like, God damn, she got a fat ass. Boy, I knock the hell out of that thing. That don't mean he wants to do it. It's a thought. It's a fleeting thought. Hold on.
Exactly.
Of course we can joke, but why keep the temptation as a friend? Why are they a temptation? Again, your sexual attraction is for you to deal with. If you can't separate your sexual attraction from the value that this person brings into your life because of who they are, that's a you problem.
Hold up. The person is not the temptation. The person themselves is not the temptation. It's what they do to you, how they make you feel. And that's the temptation. But that person alone is not. So basically, if you're not, you can only be friends with women you're not attracted to, or that is not attractive.
Hey, Nelly.
Because the person themselves is not the temptation. I don't know. I don't.
Oh, do we have a troll?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get you on out of here, because that right there tells me your mentality. As soon as they say these modern day women, BAN,
get out the red pill.
Get that testosterone converting to estrogen ass behavior out of here. Not you, honey. Not you.
When I was married, I was in the military, so my ex-wife didn't meet any of my female friends that I had from here. But relationships I've had since then, my female friends, they knew who they were. If I had a female friend, I felt like that would be a problem. We already weren't friends. You know what I'm saying? So the ones who I'm cool with, the ones I'm friends with, they knew I had a woman. They knew.
And they respected the fact that you had a woman and was in a relationship. Y'all be missing respect. Respect is the key word in so much of this, and that's what y'all miss. Respect.
And if they crossed the line, it wasn't their fault, it was my fault.
What's the question, sir? Because you know the thing is, y'all get in relationships and act like the person's life is supposed to stop.
Right. I don't understand that.
And look, this is the way that I explained it to my man. Not that he has a problem with it, but we were having a conversation about marriage in general. And this is how relationships and marriage work. You're in your car, driving down your lane. That's your life path. They're in their car, driving in their lane. When you get in a relationship or you get married, you're choosing to merge into the same lane. But you're still in your car and they're still in theirs. You're driving in the same lane together, meaning your car is your life. You are still experiencing your life outside of that person. They still have things that they're going to go through. They still have experiences that they need to have to grow as a person. The two of you are choosing to do life together. Their life does not ultimately become identical and the exact mirror image of your life. Like, okay, this control factor that y'all have it's so unhealthy.
Mr. Devin, he said, why even risk the BS your girl? Real friends will understand this, right? Right. You know what my real friends understand? Take, for instance, like I said, my best friend, 30 years. We so tight that we had a falling out. My mama fussed both of us out. Like, what the hell wrong with y'all? Y'all let some BS come between y'all. Been friends since y'all was 10 years old. Like, my mama fussed at us. That's how tight we are. So when we didn't talk for 2 years, my mama didn't like that shit. The respect is this, and the not tempted with some BS is this. I can go to her house and sit over her house at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and we bugs the fuck out. Trip, whatever we do. She's a Duke fan, I'm a Carolina fan. So when Duke and Carolina playing, we really on it. But when I got a woman, I can't sit over there at 3 o'clock in the morning. I leave at 9, 10 o'clock at the latest. And that's what she understands. Yes, she understands that we used to trip out at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We can't do that no more. We still friends, still best of friends. Her kids still call me uncle. But when you got somebody, we can't do that. So when I had somebody in the past, we didn't do that. Now she come up and spend the night if she want to, because she moved. So she's about an hour away now. She spend the night, I go spend the night. But if I got somebody, we can't do that. And that's where the respect and understanding comes in at. I've been friends with somebody for that long. I'm not going to kick them to the curb because my life does not change. Well, in some aspects, it does change. Mm-hmm. But I got real friends already. I'm not talking about the associates. I'm not talking about the people. When I see them, yeah, we trip out. But I don't talk to them again until I see them again. I'm talking about my real friends. If I needed $100, I can call them. Or they can call me. If middle of the night they call me and say they ran out of gas, I'm coming, and vice versa. Those real friends ain't going nowhere when I get in a relationship.
Now he said, I'd never create a stumbling block for my relationship down the line. And actually the comment here was going to be my response to that. When you are secure within yourself and secure within that relationship, it's not going to be a stumbling block. When there are two secure people in a relationship, it's not a stumbling block because trust exists. It's not a stumbling block in my relationship because he trusts me, because he understands, and because I respect him. I let him know, hey, this is this person, this is this person, this is this person. That's the respect factor. But it's not a stumbling block because we trust each other. If you can't trust your partner, why are you there? Why are y'all getting in relationships and marrying people that you can't trust?
I don't understand that shit to save my life.
I mean, like, I'm a nurse and I do travel, and my man is in healthcare. So we're not always in the same place. I have to trust him. If he's not here, I have to trust him. He's working. He went to go do what he's going to do because I understand that we're choosing to do life together. We have a plan together. We know what we're doing. I trust you to uphold your end of the bargain. We've already spoken about this is our plan. This is your role. This is my role. If you do this, these are the consequences. If you do this, these are the consequences. Because that's how grown people have a relationship. You talk about everything. You put everything on the table. If you have transparency and vulnerability in the relationship, why would you have a stumbling block? If you have a relationship where you have the ability to sit down and have the hard conversations without it turning into an argument, why would there be a stumbling block? That's what a relationship is supposed to look like. So if that's not what it looks like, well, then clearly somebody needs to go work on their relationship skills. There shouldn't be stumbling blocks. That's what communication is for. Trust. Oh, there's another one. Okay, we're going to get you on out of here too. Oh, you don't have to respond to that person. I'm blocking right now. Nope.
And if you don't trust yourself.
And look, what'd you say? It's been men. Every single person. What's that? 4 people I blocked now this live? Every last one is a man. Typically, if the women, if they don't like what I say, they just keep scrolling or they go on somewhere.
They leave.
They just be like, man, fuck her. And they keep it moving. And I don't want to hear that shit. Fucking pick me. And then they keep it scrolling. Not these men. Exactly. She said, you may not trust yourself, and that's why it's hard to trust others. And that is a
That's
fact.
sad.
Because often,
That's
and
sad.
I think a lot of people don't understand what the word triggered means. It gets thrown around so loosely. And I think a lot of people don't understand that if you have a reaction to something, especially if you can't explain your reaction, you're triggered. You're triggered. If you, like, I did a video the other day where I was explaining to women, if you want a man who pays all the bills, please be aware of X, Y, and Z. I didn't say anything bad. I didn't say anything about the men that pay 50-50. That wasn't even part of my video. I didn't say men should pay the bills. I didn't say they shouldn't pay the bills. I didn't say you should or shouldn't do 50-50. I said, if that's what you want, be aware of some of these things and make sure you have a plan for your life with or without a man. That was the whole gist of the video. There were several men that felt the need to come in that comment section and talk about how their wife pays half the bills and they're never going to pay all of the bills and blah, blah, blah. And the only thing I said was, why did you feel the need to come say that? The conversation was for women who want men that pay all the bills. And it was about men who pay all the bills. If the conversation was not for you or about you, or said directly to you, and you feel the need to respond, that means you're triggered. You're triggered. It means there's something that sets you off, that you need to sit with yourself and explore why you are so bothered about a conversation that was not for you or about you. Because what you're projecting are your own insecurities oftentimes. You're letting people know that you feel some type of way. So the fact that I did this conversation for and about men that pay all the bills and women that want to have bills paid, the men who go 50-50, those that are not secure within themselves and their choices, felt like I was attacking their decision. Why would you feel like that? Because you're not secure about something within yourself. Go fix that shit.
Mr. Devin, what'd he say? Where's the comment? Dang it. Damn, what happened to the comment? Did you delete it or something? Can you do that?
All I'm saying is, if
All
it's
I'm
cool
saying
for
is,
you, don't
if it's
trip when
cool
I
for
do it.
you,
Is
don't
that
trip when I
comment?
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so you're talking about the people who ain't got their shit together when you say that. If you are secure within you and your shit, and your woman is secure within her and her shit, and y'all trust each other, then that won't even be a problem. It shouldn't be a problem. Shouldn't be a problem at all. And the girl said about not trusting yourself. That's sad, but I'm gonna give you a scenario where I didn't trust myself and I left it alone because of that. I was in a relationship. Me and my homeboys went to the strip club one night. We went to one spot and we didn't know they had something going. No, we went to the pool hall first. They had a pool tournament. We didn't know. So we left like, well, let's go to the strip club and watch the game. It was like 10 people in there. It was like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. And this one particular stripper was bad as hell. And she was on your boy. And I'm like, yo, you better get away from me. I didn't have strip club money that night. I wasn't prepared to go to the strip club. So I gladly told her, I don't have any money. Get away from me. Before the night was over with, she gave me her number. Like, what the? My homeboy was like, what did you do? I didn't do nothing. You sitting there the whole time. She gave me her number. We text for a couple of weeks. One day I was sitting on the toilet and I looked at that number. I said, hell no. I deleted that something because I wasn't going to even put myself in that situation. That was a situation right there. No. But for me to acknowledge that and be like, no, I should have got your number in the first place. I should have just not. I've texted for about 2 weeks and I deleted that number. Didn't trust myself in that situation.
Let me go back to this comment real quick. He said, I'm saying, what are you doing with all your money? Here's the thing, sir. when it comes to this money conversation.
Really,
No,
Sunshine.
because I'm going to answer this one because a lot of men keep saying this. So here's the thing with this money conversation. For
God
those of you
damn
men
it.
that keep saying, well, what are you going to be doing with all your money? Sir, there are some men out here who, whether it's their culture or if it's just due to the way that they were raised, that is what they believe in. They believe in paying all of the bills. That is the type of man that they are. If you are a man that you do not want to pay all the bills, or maybe you're in a position where you're not financially able to pay all the bills, nobody is saying that that's a problem. If that is your position, then fine. That's your life choice, then be secure in that. But when y'all keep saying, well, what are you doing with all your money? My thing is, why is that a concern for you? Because you know that you're not a man that wants to be in that position. So if you're not a man who wants to pay all the bills, why do you care about what people in those dynamics are doing with their money? But I will tell you this, because you asked, and because I am with a man who does believe in paying all the bills because it's part of his culture. But again, my man is not from America. It's part of his culture. He does not believe in a woman paying the bills. He doesn't want me working. I personally am not like that. I have to work just to have my own money. But my thing is, if he wants to pay all the bills, and we've had this conversation, I'm cool with that because my money goes towards our investing. My money goes towards our trips. My money goes towards the house. My money goes towards all of the other little things that he's not his money because he's paying the bills. So when y'all have these conversations, one, avoid it if that's not what you want to be. Stop concerning yourself with business that has nothing to do with you that you don't want to be a part of. And for some men, they're okay with her keeping her money and doing whatever she wants with it. Again, why do you care about what people are doing in their relationships that you don't want to do? It makes no sense.
Listening skills, boy, listening skills. It's all about effective communication. I don't think people miss that part, but listening is also effective communication as well. She specifically said, talking to women, if you are the woman that wants this type of dude, these are the things you may have to look forward to. I don't even think that called for a damn response. And
Because
then
this
the
is
dude,
exactly what
well,
they
why
did
would
in the
we do
video.
this? Why would we do that? And why would I pay all this? Look, I'm the type of man, I'm not paying all her fucking bills either. But that conversation, that statement, that video she made didn't apply to me. You know what? For a man who's not paying all your bills, there's certain things that come with that too. But she wasn't talking to me and the men who feel like me. That didn't require a response. Like, what is up with that? Oh God.
And that's what I'm saying with this behavior. Y'all do things that's just like the women you complain about, but you don't see it. Y'all do the same things that women do that you complain that women do. Because what I promise you, I don't understand, and I don't mean just you, I mean people in general. Why do people in general want to be part of a conversation that does not apply to them? Why? If the topic is specifically about men who pay all the bills and women who want to be with those type of men, and you're not that man, why do you want to be part of the conversation? What's the point in joining in? For what? That's just like when you see married men out here talking about these modern day women. Why are you in a conversation about modern day women and you got a wife at home? Go have sex with your wife. What are you complaining about modern day women for? Why are you in a conversation that doesn't pertain to you? That's the part that I don't understand about people. Y'all jump into conversations. Nobody's speaking to you. They're not speaking about you. It ain't got a damn thing to do with you, but you got to have something to say on the topic. For what? For what? It's wild to me. It's wild. And it's wild to me when men do it too, because See, the men that I was raised around and the type of men that I'm used to, when they speak, it has substance. When they speak, it means something. I'm not used to men that just like to open their mouths and flap their gums like women and just see, I'm not used to those type of men. That's not the caliber of men that I'm used to experiencing in my life. I'm used to men that open their mouths because they have valuable things to say. I'm used to being around men that you want to listen to, not men that just keep chopping their damn jaws like women. I don't understand it. Huh. I don't. This. Huh. Trying to tell you that damn aromatase again. That aromatase converting y'all testosterone to estrogen. Oh, boy. Goodness gracious. Yes, AJ was married. He was. He has spoken about his marriage multiple times as well.
Yes, I was. I got married very young. I got married when I was 20 years old. I was in the military. I had twins on the way. That was the way that I needed to make sure that woman and my kids were taken care of. So we got married. Not necessarily saying I don't feel bad for that, but I'm not proud of it at the same time. But I did what I knew. I did what I thought I needed to do to make sure that woman and my kids were taken care of. Did I love the woman at the time? Absolutely. I wasn't thinking about marriage. I was 20 years old, but I got twins on the way. And I'm in the military. So yeah, we got married and it started off pretty good and then it started to get bad. And like we was talking about earlier about accountability and blame. I don't blame her per se, but when you're in the military, that's a totally different lifestyle. Not to mention, I spent a lot of time overseas, being Korea, Kuwait, Iraq twice. I spent a lot of time overseas. So it was like, to her, I'm pretty sure she felt like I'm married, but I'm a single mother.
Mm-hmm. Probably did.
And it caused a lot of problems. It really did. And it's like, yo, but I felt like she wasn't trying to work through those problems because every time I tried to talk about it, every time I tried to whatever, either shut down, nothing, whatever. It's like, damn. So when you know how it is, shit rolls downhill. That snowball gets a lot bigger and bigger and bigger. So other stuff that wasn't a problem before now becomes a problem. Yeah.
But again, I think a lot of people they just don't think about the fact you do the best that you can with the knowledge that you have at the time. The knowledge that I had at 20 when I first got married versus the knowledge that I have today about myself, about relationships, about communication, about being in a partnership, about life in general. My approach to my relationship today is nothing like my approach was to my marriage before. That's why they say when you know better, you do better. But you have to want to know better. You have to be looking to be better in order to do better. And that's the problem, is a lot of people are not looking to do better or be better. They're looking to put all the blame on the other side as to why something didn't work out. And that is just going to get you more of the same bullshit that you've been experiencing. You're just going to keep repeating it over and over. You keep going through the same things with a different person until you get your lesson. The quicker you get your lesson, the better. But most people are not getting their lessons because you keep saying, well, it's not me, it's them. And, we've spoke on this before. And me and AJ have spoke on this. But I think we mentioned it earlier when you were talking about women don't hold each other accountable. And that's true. I can't speak for what men do in men's circles. But I know that more often than not, women do not hold each other accountable when it comes to a relationship. Women say dumb shit to each other like, oh, girl, well, it's his loss. Oh, well, girl, that's because you can do better. Well, that's because something better coming along. He's the one that's losing out. Who's to say? Who's to say maybe you're not losing out? But that type of dialogue with your female friends only further tells her that she didn't do anything wrong. That keeps telling her that she doesn't need to take accountability when she most certainly should take accountability because she was not innocent in that relationship. Whether her actions were intentional or unintentional, she still did things that affected that man emotionally, and she still needs to own up to that. You know, and that's one of the things that it just feeds into all of these problems and all of this bull out here. I tried to tell my friend her fault when it came to her divorce and almost got cursed out. Man, now I'm the friend. Anybody that knows me in real life, if you can't already tell from my videos, I don't sugarcoat and I don't give a damn. Been like this my whole life. I've always been told I'm harsh. I've always been told I'm blunt. I am that friend. People call me, and I've had people like on Facebook, we became friends because they reached out to me and said, hey, listen, I see the way you respond in the group. I know that you're going to give me an honest opinion. Can I talk to you
I've
about
had
something?
that too. I've had that too.
You know what I'm saying? When people come to me and say, hey, I need your opinion, the first thing I ask them, what level of honesty do you want from me? 1 through 10. Because your answer is going to determine how I word what I say to you. But if you tell me that you want level 10 honesty, I'm going to tell you, don't get mad at me because I'm going to give it to you raw and uncut. And if you don't like what I say, that's your fucking problem because you told me level 10.
Especially my female friends, I tell them, you know, I'm not the friend to tell you what you want to hear, right? You ready for this? And I was the same way in Facebook groups before me and my ex was together. And she hated that shit, that women would come to my inbox and be like, I want to know how you feel about this. Can I talk to you? And she hated that. Because I'm going to tell you what it is. Like, I don't understand. For me, it's just, it's second nature. It's easy. I ain't going to say I ain't got no filter because I do. Because what's in my mind is crazy. But I'm going to give it to you straight up. No cut, no rub.
Now,
I'm
look,
I'm the guy friend that's gonna give you unbiased advice or unbiased opinion on whatever you come to me with. So my female friends, they totally understand it and they love me for it. I'm gonna give it. I know you're gonna tell me the truth. So what do you think about this?
you see, 1 in a million, I actually do know her and have known her for quite some time. And she knows because I will call her out on shit. I'll see stuff and I'll send her a message and be like, listen, hey, da 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 da. I know you may not like what I have to say, but hey, we both know the truth here, and this is what it is. And I understand if you might be a little upset with me. And you know what? And even my best friend is the same way. My best friend, my ex, not my ex-husband, but my ex-boyfriend, we had a situation going on, and my best friend said to me, she was like, you know what? You may not like what I say. She said, but remember, you did da 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 da, and he doesn't know, remember? And I was like, damn, I guess I can't be mad at him at all.
Right.
How can I
I,
be mad at him for this? And I did this. We both
I
kept
got a
secrets, didn't we?
homeboy same way. He's something with
And
him
you
and his
know what?
girl
When
and
she
whatever.
said
He
that
came
to
to
me,
me.
I immediately I stopped. I stopped everything that him and I had going on. I said, you know what? I'm sorry. I had time to think about it. You're right. I shouldn't have reacted the way that I did because I never. Obviously, he didn't know my secret, but I found out his secret. I didn't own up to my secret because for what? It is what it is. But I dropped the issue that I had with his secret, and I was like, you know what? Hey, we both had a secret, so I'm just gonna let it be. And you're right. You know what I'm saying? But my best friend, she called me out on that. She was like, you know what? You might get mad, but let's be honest. Don't forget about what you did. And I was like, oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. I am wrong to be upset with him because yeah, I'm no better. You know what I mean? But those are the type of people you want in your corner. That's a real friend. And even in a
My homeboy a couple
relationship,
weeks ago.
that's what you want to be with. You want to be with somebody that's going to call you on your shit. Because otherwise, why are you with them? You're not growing.
I got my homeboy a couple weeks ago. He was talking about shit. I was like, but dude, if how did this happen? If he was like, you right, man. I ain't gonna say nothing else. Come on now. I just, I request that you be like that with me, cause then I ain't got to figure it out.
I'm the type, I'm very blunt. I don't like to be lied to for a very simple reason. And this is why I don't lie. One, because it speaks to your character. That's one. But honestly, one of the biggest reasons why I don't like liars and why I do not lie is because when you lie to somebody, you take away their choice. You are not allowing them to make an informed decision for their life. And that's what I don't like about lies. Because when you sit here, let's say, let's just use the example of cheating. You don't go to your partner and tell them what the issue is. You don't go to your partner and end the relationship before you go sleep with somebody else. You took away their choice to decide whether or not they wanted to be with somebody who was sleeping with other people. They thought the agreement was monogamy. You broke that agreement without telling them anything, and now you took away their choice for their life, and you may have possibly endangered their life and spread something that they never consented to. No different than when you have somebody who's in a relationship and you approach somebody and you don't tell them that you're in a relationship, you take away their choice. So now you've put me in a situation where what if your girl or your wife finds out that you've been messing with me? I didn't know she existed. She show up at my job. Boom, I'm dead. I never consented to being with a man who was dealing with another woman. But you lied to me and you took away my choice. That's my problem with lying. That's not fair to people. And that shows that you don't respect them and you have no respect for their life and you have no respect for them as a person. That's a problem for me. The things that I tell my children, and I stress this to my children, especially my sons, but all of them though, I stress this to my children. People don't have to like what you say, but they have to respect your honesty. I don't give a damn if you don't like what I say, but if it's my truth, then it's my truth, and respect the fact that I'm being honest and I'm telling you the truth. Whether you like the truth or not, respect that I'm giving you the truth and I'm not lying to you, and I have enough respect for you that I'm allowing you to make an informed decision about anything that pertains to me and you and our connection. That's why I don't like liars, and that's why I don't like to be lied to, or why I don't lie to people. I'm the type, I have told people straight up, I've been in a conversation and looked somebody dead in their face and was like, you know what? I'm not even doing this with you. I'm done. And walked right off. Just because I'm that blunt and that honest, I would just look at you and be like, you know what? This is not even worth my time anymore. And I'm just going to walk off. When I got into a relationship, there is not one thing that this man can say that surprised him, because I told him everything about who I am. I told him, in situations like this, I have a tendency to react like this. I'm aware that I react like that. I'm working on it. But I'm letting you know that in these type of situations, it is possible that I will have this sort of reaction. So I want you to be aware of that. Before he met my children, I explained to him each of their personalities. When you encounter this one, they'll probably do this, they'll probably do this, they'll probably do this. The reason why? Because I told him, I want you to make an informed decision. I want you to know everything that comes along with me. So if you choose to be here, it's not because anything's going to pop up later. It's because you know what you're getting into. And he has said, anything that has happened, he was like, you did tell me. You did warn me about that. You did let me know. Yes, I did. Because you have the right to make an informed decision for your life. So if you're going to be in a relationship with me, you absolutely should know what there is to know and everything that comes along with being with me. That is why transparency and vulnerability is so important when you're going to be in a relationship. Let people know what the fuck they're signing up for. Let them make the decision of whether or not they want to sign up for your shit. Not everybody's going to be able to handle everything. And you have to be able to accept that and understand that some people just aren't going to be equipped to deal with you and everything that comes with you. And that's okay. I know I'm a lot to handle. And well, I don't like the word handle, but I know that I can be a lot. I'm aware that my life can be a lot. I left a marriage with 5 children. I have 6 kids total. Now, my kids are older for the most part. The younger three are 14 and the twins are 11. That's a lot. I understand that for some men, that might be too much for them to handle because that's a lot of responsibility, that's a lot of personalities, and that's okay. I've had things that have happened in my past that have affected me in a way where I work on it not affecting me a certain way, but I do understand that sometimes I might still have certain reactions to things. I had to let that be known because he deserves to be able to make an informed decision as to whether or not is that something that I'm going to be able to handle. That's no different than say you meet somebody and they have schizophrenia. I'll tell you right now, I'm not equipped to be in a relationship with somebody that's schizophrenic. I know me and I know that that's not something I can handle. Now, somebody else, they might be okay with it. Their personality and who they are, they might be equipped for that. And they wouldn't have a problem being in a relationship with a schizophrenic. But you have to know that you're not going to be everything for everybody. And some people are just not going to either want to deal with your shit, or they're just going to know that there's something about it within them that they're not going to be able to be there for you in the way that you need. Accept that and stop being angry at people for saying, hey, you know what? I can't do it. Learn to appreciate that and respect the fact that they're telling you, hey, I'm not built for the job. My resume ain't going to fill that role. I can't do it. I'm sorry. It's okay. Learn to be okay with that shit.
See, Listini said, I love the way you're saying okay, because very people are saying that's one of the reasons why me and Sunshine became cool, because it's okay. And I find myself saying it to a lot of my female friends about certain things. First of all, for you to say, well, I know I come with this, that's a lot. That is accountability. That doesn't even require any blame to be even shifted anywhere. That's accountability. Me personally, I got 5 myself. Now, my youngest is 14, my son's 17, the rest of them grown. But I know something I can't do. I understand that. So when I talk to my female friends about, especially about dudes they meet and run into and certain things, I'm like, yo, but that's okay. You was wrong. That's okay. That's fine. It's all right. It ain't gonna kill you. Now that you know, fix it. It's all right. It's not simple, but I mean, it's not easy, because if it was easy, everybody would be good at it. But it's just so simple. That is also accountability as well. I got one female friend, she got 2 kids, and this whole single mother selective outrage, new outrage towards single mothers or whatever. I had to explain to her one day because she asked me about it, and I was like, look, there are certain things that come with you being a single mother. It's not necessarily saying it's a bad thing. But you're a single mother, you got a 12-year-old and like a 5-year-old. And you are very involved with your kids. Very involved. Both of them do extracurricular activities. She's very involved. So a typical Monday through Friday for you is leaving the house at 7 o'clock in the morning, getting home 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. Weekends, one of your daughters have something going on that you're probably going to be going to do. So if you meet somebody, that's very little time for him to get in. So that comes with you being a single mother. You got dudes out here that don't give a shit about that. They'll get in where they fit in. I'm not saying you are a bad person. All I'm saying is that's okay. That's fine. Just find a dude who don't care about you having 2 kids. But it's also okay. You got to take the accountability to understand I have 2 kids. For somebody who have no kids, or somebody kids who are older like mine, because I can just leave. I don't need to get a babysitter. But you need a babysitter. And that's okay. Certain things come with that, but that's you being accountable for what you have. It's all right. It's not a bad thing. But that accountability thing is what drives people up the wall for some reason. It's like you're wrong about something. You don't have to be wrong to be accountable.
I think it's this black and white way of thinking. Like
Right.
it
I just
either
had
it
a
is or it
conversation with my
isn't. And
friend yesterday.
that's not the reality of life. There is no such thing as it
It's a
is or
gray
isn't,
area.
because for one, our lives are all so different. Our lives are all different and we're all having different experiences. Like I spoke on this before. when I go out in public, when I go to the gym, when I go to the grocery store, when I look at people, I don't really, I mean, it's so cliche to say I don't see color. I mean, we do see it, but when I actually look at people, I see stories. I see people who are just living their life, right? It's just a story. We all have a story, and nobody's story looks exactly the same. So the fact that people seem to think that everybody is going to structure their relationships this way, and you're going to do this and do this and do this and do, that's not practical, nor is that realistic. Like, one of the comments that I've been getting, several men have made comments about the fact that I have a tongue piercing and a nose ring and a tattoo. And it makes me laugh because I think to myself, well, damn. Well, look at all these people that are tattoo artists and piercers, and they married to each other. So how is it that you can sit here and say that all women who have tattoos and piercings are just for the streets and undesirable? Like,
nobody's gonna want you.
Right. Like, why is it black and white?
People love that shit.
I mean, truly, like that, it blows my mind that this black and white way of thinking, oh, you can't do this because if you do this, that automatically puts you in this category. How? How? Do you not realize that I can be in all three categories at the same time or even in different times? Like, the fact y'all want to put people in these boxes, and that's the issue. You want to box people in and tell them who they are and tell them how they're supposed to live their life like yours. But why? Why does everybody have to live their life like your life?
It's a problem for you.
Right. They don't even want to be put in a box. Exactly.
Like you trying to put me in a box. I don't fit in the box that you're trying to put me in, and now you're mad at me for it. Wait, what?
And that, let's tie that in right there, because that's definitely part of accountability. Because when you do that, like I tell my friends all the time, stop trying to make a square fit into a circle. And what happens is y'all get in these relationships and they're a square and you're a circle, and you are determined to make that square fit in that circle, and you get mad when they don't fit. And men and women do this.
Me and my ex-wife. That's a perfect example of me and my ex-wife.
Yes, and men and women do this. This is what's wrong with trying to date somebody for potential. You're trying to make that square potentially fit into a circle. It's not going to happen. If it's not already the same size, if it's not already flowing, you can't force the fit. When you force the fit, you get problems. Like this is why potential is an issue. It's not, you have to be able to evaluate somebody. And that goes back to accountability. When you sit here and complain about your relationships not working out, one of the questions that I like to ask, and I do this with my female friends, and they get mad because I tell them, wait a minute now. Who was he when you first met him? What was he doing when you first met him? Because he was who he was. You weren't looking at his actions. You were looking at what you wanted him to be and who you saw he could be. But at what point did you even evaluate if he saw that within himself? If he never saw it within himself, what the hell made you think that you could turn him into that? And on the flip side of that, men will see a woman and you'll say, oh my God, she would make a perfect X, Y, and Z in my life. And you've never even really had a conversation, or you're not listening to her and the things that she's saying that's telling you she has no desire to be X, Y, and Z. And I've experienced this where I had a gentleman who he was an older guy trying to date me and needed a hip replacement surgery and said to me, oh, you can be my nurse. And I remember looking at him and thinking to myself, well, what the fuck made you think I want to do that? I'm already a nurse all day, every day at work. What makes you think I want to get off work and come home and actually sign up and get into a relationship with you to be your nurse? And he kept trying to pursue me for a relationship. And I'm like, sir, You don't even listen to what I'm saying, because I've told you multiple times in multiple ways that the role that you want to put me in, I'm not here for that. I don't want to play that role in your life, but you're still trying to put me in that role. And was offering very nice things, had all types of money on the table. I didn't care, because that's not the role that I want. Why you see this potential in me that I can't fulfill that potential for you? That's not who I am. You want to put that damn square in a circle. Then you get mad. Stop it.
Look, Sashay Sante said we need to normalize celebrating out of the box thinking. I just had this conversation last night, and we should. Here's the problem with that. And a big problem is these conspiracy theorists. But here's the problem with that. This whole free thinking thing is thinking outside the box that the powers that be or whoever that may be taught us to be in.
The
problem with a lot of people is they step out the box, they create another box for themselves and step inside that box. What the fuck did you just do? So you freed yourself from society constructs or whatever they put around you. And then you recaptured yourself in the midst of your own bullshit. What the fuck did you just do? And which one is worse?
The white man gave us the Bible, and that's why now we're Hoteps and we're African Hebrew Israelites, because we're Kangs. I'm sorry.
I don't understand that shit. Like, so you put yourself in a free range thinking is get out in the box and just go wherever. And sometimes it may seem a little crazy, but putting yourself in another box, you freed yourself from their so-called captivity and captured your damn self. And you want me to sit here and
from the shackles of Christianity, and now I'm bound by the shackles of voodoo. I see that happen a lot too.
The shackles of your own thought process.
That's really what it is.
Like, which is worse? I don't know. And it's a lot of these conspiracy theories are big at it. Like, I was watching something about these train derailments. And you know, it's been about 4 or 5 more train derailments since that one in Ohio.
Yeah.
So the guy was talking and saying this is something about depopulation. That's what this is about. If you can't see it, I was like, well, maybe it is. Is it not a possibility that maybe this could be a distraction to take your mind off of something else? Is that not a possibility? All I'm saying is this: there are a million different avenues of approach you can take. You took one, formulated your opinion, and we supposed to run with it. What the fuck? That ain't free thinking. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. And that's why conversations like this need to happen too, because that's why you have all of this arguing and these back and forth and these stupid podcasts, because they're trying to make everyone conform to this one way of thinking. And that's not the reality of life, because you're not taking into account that the world just does not work like that. It doesn't work like that. Real life happens. Things happen. You know what I mean? And it's not going to fall into this black or white. You know, like I said earlier, ideally, yes, people, they meet, they get married, and you would hope that they stay together and raise a family and happily ever after. That's an ideal situation. That's not the reality. The reality is sometimes we get in relationships and things change for various reasons. Various reasons. That's the reality. The reality is sometimes the relationships don't work out, and it's best that you go your separate ways. That's the reality. But you can't keep thinking that everybody's going to live their life to the ideals of what you want it to be.
I think a lot of people live, I tell people a lot, we live on planet Earth. You live in Pleasantville. A lot of people go around acting as if the way they want the world to be versus what it actually is. Those are two completely different roads of travel. I get it. You want it to be this way, but it's not. And it's not going to be like that. And that's okay.
But you know,
you just got to figure out another way to do it.
That right there is one of the key issues between men and women, right? Because men will sit here and say, well, they shouldn't be like that. And women will say, well, it shouldn't be like that. But at the end of the day,
it is.
It just is. There are certain things like For example, this provider conversation, and I don't mean it in a way of paying all the bills. I'm saying overall, because I've seen men say, well, why do men have to be the provider? Who decided men are the provider? Biology. Literally, our wiring is different in our brains. Literally, men are wired. The way y'all brains are set up, you're wired to be the protectors. You're wired to just be men, what men do. Now, when it comes to like gender roles, some of that is biological, some of it is man-made. But when it comes to women tend to be more nurturing, men tend to be more of the protectors and providers. That's biological. So you may not like certain things, but it just is. Women, on average, have a larger language center than men do. So you don't like the fact that women are talkative and they want to talk about their feelings? I'm sorry, sir. It just is. Our brains are wired that way. You don't like the fact that we cry over little things, or sometimes we get into our emotions, or little things have the ability to upset us? I'm sorry, sir. Our wiring makes us that way. Our hormones are completely different from yours, and they function different. I'm sorry that my hormones can make it be that you can say something to me and I instantly lose my sexual desire off of one thing that you said. I'm sorry that that's the way that my hormones work. But it just is. It doesn't matter how you think it should be. That's not how it works. No different than some of the things that men do. Women get upset about, especially when it comes to some like the topics of sex. Okay, it shouldn't be a certain way, but it is. And when you know what it is, you accept what it is, and then you just make it work for you in your life, however that looks. It's no different than racism. We understand racism exists. Should it exist? No. Does it exist? Yes. Is it going to go away? Probably not. Should it go away? Absolutely. Can you do anything about it? Nope. It just is. So what do? Well, if I'm a black man and I know racism exists, I'm probably going to avoid certain behaviors. I'm going to avoid certain situations. I'm probably going to try to avoid certain environments where I know I will be more of a victim of racism, because that's the only thing that I can do. When things just are, you deal with it. You find a way to make it work. I don't know if I should block this gentleman or just let him go, because, I'm not. The toxic and the negativity, boy, I tell you, y'all got to bring it everywhere you go. Y'all got to bring it with you everywhere you go.
I said we was going to ignore that for the rest of the live. Keep going.
Okay. Okay. She said, let him go. Sometimes I like to study the mindset. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sometimes I purposely mess with them in my comments because I know they think they bother me, but I have studied psychology for so long that social media is a huge case analysis for me. A huge case analysis. People are case analysis. There's not a person that can cross my path that I do not psychoanalyze. And people that know me in real life know. You let me have a good 3 solid conversations with you, I'm going to break you all the way down. And we're going to end up talking about your childhood. And I'm going to tell you stuff about yourself that you never even told me. You're going to be like, damn. How the hell she figured that out? I didn't even have to tell her that. You ain't have to tell me. I know how to read between the lines. I study psychology. This is what I do. I love psychology. I study people. I study human behavior. See, y'all said let him go, but I'm not. I'm gonna
say it. That's the bitch nigga shit I was talking about earlier. I did a video about that months ago, and it's crazy that these are the same type of niggas who get on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, and talk about alphas and betas. Fuck alpha and beta. I don't subscribe to that. But bitch nigga shit, you go to people's videos, you go to people's lives, and you go in the comments just to start arguments and talk shit and whatever. Like, what is this, 12th grade?
Less than that. But wait, let me, I want to respond to this before I block this person. A man can buy a different fantasy every night. Why just be with one? Sir, if you have no respect for your body and if you have no respect for yourself, that is absolutely your prerogative. If you are somebody that wants to go spreading your seed with several different women, that's your prerogative, and nobody's telling you otherwise if that's what you want to do. But just understand that the same way how there are consequences for women's loose sexual behavior, there are consequences for men, even though you think there aren't. Women don't like loose men any more than men like loose women. And if you think that that doesn't matter to us, it most certainly does. We don't like community dick. And women that have self-respect, when they see a man that's community dick, well, that tells us that you don't give a damn about your health. That tells us that you don't respect yourself. That also, it tells me that you have no respect for any type of spirituality. That tells me that you are soulless, because if your approach to sex is that cavalier, then it also tells me that you don't form emotional connections with your partner. So you have no understanding of the sacredness of sex and how special it should be and is with your partner. So, with that being said, you and your hoe ass can have a very good night. Okay.
Hey, you know what? You know what? Them motherfuckers don't want to tag team each other. Yo, hey, go to Old Girl Live and look. Remember I said that a couple of weeks ago? That's what the hell y'all be doing. Y'all go to the live. Hey, yo, come check this out. You punk bitch ass.
I'm telling you.
What is this, high school?
I have been so disappointed the last 2 weeks with the way these men have been behaving in my videos. I've never experienced anything like this in my life. I have never experienced this. And my son, you know, my kids see my TikToks, obviously, you know, and my son will look at the comments and he's like, Mom, I don't get it. He was like, these are grown men, huh? I said, supposedly. The number of men that are even in the comment section saying, oh, I hope your man knows he got leftovers. Bitch, we're all somebody's leftovers. I'm damn near 40 years old. So, and it's wild because, so you think a woman is supposed to be a virgin her entire life, and even if she was married, that's still not good enough because she was with another man before you? Are you? And y'all say women are delusional?
You want a woman with A1 sex game, but ain't never been with nobody.
I mean, it when I say the behavior that I have seen in the last couple weeks from men in my comment section, it's like, you have got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Why are y'all acting like this? And it's irritating because it's so childish. It's childish.
Friend of mine posted on Facebook today, she went to the gas station and a man yelled out, girl, I put a baby in you. Fuck. Look, okay, let me say this. Me and my boys, we go out or whatever, and we see a nice looking woman. We have said some ignorant ass shit amongst us. You know what I'm saying? Like, boy, look, let me tell you something. I pay all her bills. Goddamn, boy. I suck a fart on her behind. But we say some ignorant shit amongst us. But if either one of us decide to walk over to you, we're not going to say that ignorant shit. It's us guy banter. We're having fun. We're laughing. But we're not going to walk over there and say that stupid shit.
Mm-mm. You know which one has got, and I heard this when I was younger. And I never forgot it because the fact that he was bold enough to actually walk up to me and say it to my face, I was like, you, This right here is why the men that keep coming in my video about the 3 approaches, and they keep saying, oh, well, if men are approaching you strictly on sex, and it's because of the way you carry yourself, it's because of the way you dress. Bullshit. This is why that's bullshit. I literally, I've had men jump in my inbox and be like, hey, how are you? Never asked my real name and started having a sexual conversation. So don't say that it's based on how we carry ourselves. But I have had a man walk up to me, just wearing regular clothes, going about my regular day, doing regular things, not out here hoeing like these men seem to think. And this man walks up to me and was like, damn, you got some DSLs. Now, if you don't know what DSLs are, DSL stands for dick sucking lips. And although maybe that might be true, maybe I do have some DSLs, what I said to him was, bitch, you'll never fucking find out. Because what the fuck? Why would you just walk up to somebody and say that? I had another gentleman who I was cool with. We just had cool conversation. This dude decides to inbox me one day, and I blocked him after this. This man inboxes me one day. I'm going to stress this again. We were cool, and we had been having cool conversation. He inboxes me and said, I busted a fat ass nut thinking about you last night. Fuck you telling me for? I didn't ask to know that. I don't need to know that you were thinking about me last night while you were jacking off. What you telling me for? So when y'all sit here and you try to say, oh, well, men only approach you because bullshit. I'm not the only woman that has experienced men coming at them on some sex shit straight out the gate. So y'all gonna have to stop that lie. Y'all gonna have to stop telling that lie. I have far too many stories. I had a man hit me up on Facebook. The man was like, hey, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. How are you doing? The man said, you like chocolate. I'm thinking you're talking about dark-skinned men, because on my Facebook, I'm always joking, and everybody that knows me knows I love dark-skinned men. There's no doubt about it. Love them. If I don't want to see you at night, I want you to blink or smile to let me know where you at in the bed. Damn. Love it. I told you, my homeboy said my man is 1 minute past midnight, and I said his ass was right on time too. You damn right. Damn. So I'm thinking, when this man says to me, do you like chocolate? I'm thinking, you talking about I like chocolate. Hell yeah, I like chocolate. Next thing I know, a dick pic. I said, well, he said, oh, my bad. I didn't mean to send that. I said, I didn't want to see that. What the hell did you send that to me for? What? For what? The conversation literally went, hey, how are you? I'm good. You like chocolate? Yeah, I like chocolate. Dick pic. Why, sir? Why? And y'all keep wanting to tell me that men only approach women based on how they carry themselves and the way they dress? Bullshit. Go save that lie for your mama. How did your daddy approach her? How about that? How your daddy approach your mama? Telling them damn lies. I'm sick of these men lying in my damn comment section. Now, I'm telling you, this bitch behavior over here, I'm like, this is ridiculous. The women have never done this on my videos. They get mad, pop their little shit, and move on. These men keep sharing the video. They keep coming back talking junk. They keep running their mouths. This is the most, I don't even know the word, because I don't even want to call them bitches. There's got to be a better word than bitches. I don't even have the word for it. It's the most coochie ass behavior I've ever seen.
I want to argue with you so bad on that, but I can't. Because once again, female friends, and they sending me screenshots, and they showing me things. Like one girl I know was actually a friend of mine's friend. She makes t-shirts and sweatshirts. So dude slides in the inbox about buying t-shirts and stuff. She's like, cool, which one you want, etc., etc. And then it goes to Well, I'll only basically what he said was I'll only buy t-shirts and sweatshirts if me and you can get to know each other. I'm like, what the fuck? I want to argue so bad, but I know for a fact that there's so many dudes out here that do that shit. It's like, God, man.
Now look,
we got to get better.
Because we're talking about accountability tonight. And I have said many times that when people complain about the things they experience in a relationship, you have to understand that oftentimes what you're experiencing is because your partner is reacting or responding to something that you did, right? So when it comes to accountability, there's always this conversation of when women say, that they're independent or whatever. Part of the reason why so many women have gotten to the point where they either just don't trust a man to do anything or they don't want to ask a man for anything is for that very reason right there. Because there are far too many men out here who their expectation is if they do anything for you, they think you owe them sex. And I can say for myself personally, when I was single, that was why a lot of the times I just did shit myself. Me and my son, we packed up and we moved the entire house by ourselves. I didn't ask a man because if I'm willing to pay you for your time, what the hell makes you think I still owe you sex? The reason why a lot of women don't trust men and don't want to do things when it comes to men, hold on, because I see they popping up, is because there are a lot of men, and if you think I'm lying, go look at that video and look at how many men have stated, well, I'm not taking her out if she ain't giving it up. The number of men who think that if I take you out on a date, you owe me sex. If I do anything for you, you owe me sex, is the reason why so many women are like, I don't want to do anything. And I'm not talking about broken women or toxic women. I'm talking about women that actually have respect, women that have a sense of self-worth, mature women. You encounter it so much. Hold on, I got another one. I hate when they come in here and don't even take time to assess the room and you just come in here and want to jump to conclusions. And we've been sitting here going back and forth all night about both sides of the coin when it comes to accountability. And here we go, another man. More man hate. More man hate. Get your panties out your pussy, bitch. Shit. They're getting on my nerves.
Just proving the point.
I'm telling you.
It's proving the point.
I'm telling you. But anyways, this is part of the reason why some women develop that mindset of, I don't need a man. Because you encounter so many men who it is transactional. And then as a woman, and I think a lot of men don't take this into account, as a woman, if you think that fear of being raped is not in the back of our head, please think again. If you think that we as women don't know and don't understand that you have the ability to overpower us, because the statistics say that most of us have been the victim of SA. And I gotta be careful with my words sometimes up here because they'll shut your live off for certain stuff, so I'm trying to avoid that. Most of us. Global, there we go, 1 in 3. I was just about to name it. 1 in 3. I'm gonna have to delete this one too. See, it's not fair exchange. It's only fair exchange if she also wanted to sleep with you. That's fair exchange. But you saying, well, I took you on a date and now you owe me sex is not fair exchange. The fact that so many men are so cavalier about sex and you feel like you putting your penis and entering into a woman's body means absolutely nothing speaks volumes about you. The fact that you look at sex as something transactional and you don't understand that that is a woman receiving you into her body speaks volumes about you. It says so much about you and the type of man you are and your mentality and how you view women in general, how you view sex in general. It's wild to me. And even on one of the videos, I told the story of where there's a guy that I know. There's a guy that I know who does music and stuff. And I asked him, I said, hey, listen, can you come to my house and help my son for about an hour? And in return, what I offered him in return, because he likes my cooking, right? And so for a lot of men that are around me, that's normally what I offer because they love my cooking. So I said, in return, I know you're bringing your son with you. Tell me what you want to eat. I'll make you whatever you want for lunch. I'll, go get a little drinks or whatever so you could just chill. Cool. And, just in exchange, just take a few minutes, show my son what he needs to know on the computer, help him understand the program. Dude was like, okay, cool. That works for me. We agreed, right? Exchange. I'm asking you for an hour of your time. In return, I'm willing to feed you and your son, and I'm getting a little bit of alcohol so you get a nice little chill buzz, right? Yet and still, even though he agreed to the terms of the agreement, still try to have sex. Why? Did we not agree to compensation? Did we not agree? So when you have situations like that happen consistently as a woman, it's only natural at some point where you hear women say all men want is sex. Well, this would be why. Look at how some of these men are responding right now in the comments. And then men say, well, what's wrong with men wanting sex? There's nothing wrong with you wanting sex. The problem is your approach. There's nothing wrong with you wanting sex. Sex is a natural body function that I should hope we all enjoy. And if you don't enjoy it, I'm very sorry for you that you don't. That's horrible if you don't enjoy sex. But the approach is the problem. We understand you want sex, but to think that you're entitled to sex from me, to think that I owe you sex, they try to pressure you. That's the issue. True enough. And if they don't pressure you, in some cases, 1 in 3, they just take it. I'm 1 in 3. They take it. So when men say things like, oh, it's just sex, or you want to make it transactional, no, that is very, very problematic. And it says a whole lot about you as a man. I don't know why you keep going on and on about your damn car, sir. I don't know what the hell you got going on in the comments with your car. I hope she give you your money or something, because clearly you are upset, because I've seen you say something about the car at least 4 times. I don't know what you got going on, buddy. I hope you get it resolved, because damn. You see, they always show up. You see this?
I told you they went in tag team. Hey, come and look at her live, dog. Come check it out.
Well, we went real long tonight because it's midnight. We went.
Oh shit! I didn't even realize what time it was, man.
We went real long tonight. I done drank damn near my whole bottle. I filled this up before we started. It's like down to here, and I drank my tea.
What you put in there?
This is water.
Oh, okay. I got it.
You know, I'm still fasting. So, anyways, it is after midnight, and we're running way over. So, we're gonna wrap this up. For those that weren't here earlier when I mentioned it, I do have group sessions. If you go to the profile and click the Linktree, the very first one says group sessions. It is held via Google Meet. So for those who, maybe you are insecure, or you're just not confident about certain things, or you have questions, or you need advice and you don't have anybody else to talk to, sign up for the group session. They're an hour long. You can keep your camera off if you want. That's fine. If you want to remain anonymous, it's cool. That's the whole point of setting them up, because there are some people who, they have questions, they don't know who to turn to, or, they might be embarrassed or scared to ask other people. Can you just be a listener? Yes, I also have one-on-ones, which is the second tab when you go to the Linktree. So, like I said, there are group sessions, which there's 10 slots per session. So that's enough for, me to be able to answer everybody's questions and, have control over the conversation, because anything more than that, I feel like it's going to be chaotic. And I want everybody to have a chance to ask their questions and get their answers. So my Linktree is in my profile on all of my social media, actually. And when you go to the Linktree, the very first one says group sessions and the next one says one-on-one sessions. So for those that missed that earlier, just want to let y'all know that is available. Yes, but the group sessions, it's only $30. That's partly because, one, I have to weed out the people that just want to mess with you. I have to weed out the sick men that want to call in and get their rocks off, and, it's a way to weed out people that are serious. But I didn't want to price it so much that it's not affordable, because I feel like there are a lot of people that need help. They need somebody to talk to, and regular therapy is very expensive. And some people are just not comfortable with regular therapy. So that's why I chose to set it up this way, where you have the option to keep your camera off, because, it'll help with that and give people someone to talk to. This has got to be the most amount of people I have blocked ever in a live. I think I've blocked about 10 people tonight. So I'm a life coach. I'm not a therapist, but I am a psych nurse. Like I've said, I am a nurse. I do psych, and I study psychology independently, and have since I was 18, just because it fascinates me. Like I said, human behavior fascinates me. I have taken probably just about every psychology class there is. I watch psychology lectures and TED Talks. I watch neuroscientists, because I'm fascinated by, like, brain development in utero and all through childhood, the neuroscience when it comes to relationships, when brain development, just all of it absolutely fascinates me. So I try to take the things that I have learned and break it down into layman's terms, because obviously, when I watch these lectures, they are very technical and medical terminology, and not everybody has the ability to decipher that and understand that. So, I basically take the information, and in certain communities, especially lower income communities, that type of information is not being given out. That type of information is not getting to the people that need it the most, and there's not a lot of people of color in these fields. I have definitely noticed that with my research. Damn near every doctor that I listen to, the neuroscientists, the psychologists, the relationship experts, like I referenced Dr. John Gray earlier, most of them are non-melanated. And, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, and I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying that for people of color, there's not enough for them to go to. They don't have enough people that looks like them, where they will feel comfortable talking to them, where they will feel like they are understood. I know from my own experience, my daughter was seeing a therapist, and it was a older Caucasian lady. And the things that she would ask and the conversations she would have, I ended up having to get rid of her, because I'm like, you have no clue what life is like for us. Like, your suggestions and even the way that you're speaking clearly tells me that you have zero understanding of the reality of what our life looks like. And that's a problem. And for a lot of people of a minority group, when you're seeking someone to listen to and try to understand you and help you see a problem, it's hard to go to somebody from another culture that's not a minority, because their understanding of what life is like for you is not going to be the same. And that's just the facts of what it is. So that's part of the reason why I set up these group sessions, to give people another option. No, I'm not a therapist, but I do have a lot of knowledge. And those that know me in real life, I promise you, that's what they call me for. I have a chick I know was in therapy, I lie to you not, for it was either 10 or 15 years. 10 to 15 years for this one particular problem that she said no therapist could help her understand. We had a 4-hour conversation and got to the root of her problem. And now she is in a very happy relationship, because she finally got to the root of her problem that was preventing her and holding her back from, being able to have a healthy, functional relationship. So, I'm not a therapist, but I have a lot of knowledge. I've learned how to apply the things that I've learned, that I've studied. And as I've said many times, I've been able to go back even over my own life. I have gone way, way, way back in my childhood and been able to identify things and be like, oh, that's why I do that. Let me fix that. So, I laugh sometimes when certain people will be like, oh, well, what are your credentials? And I'm like, well, what was your grandma's credentials? Because you sure listen to her wisdom. Grandma ain't go to school, but you sure listen to the knowledge she passed down. So what was your grandma's credentials? Credentials don't always mean anything. I've worked with a whole lot of nurses that graduated from nursing school and didn't know a damn thing. I've worked with a nurse that we know she killed 1 or 2 patients. We know she did, because she didn't know a damn thing, but her credentials will make you trust her. So, I mean, when it comes to them credentials, that paper don't always mean much. So, we do our lives every Thursday, 9:30. Occasionally on the weekends, I will jump on live while I'm cooking or doing something in the kitchen, just to kind of chop it up and, get a little conversation every now and then. So, keep on the lookout for those. But, well, hello, welcome. I'm sorry you came at the end, because we're about to end it. But, like I said, Thursdays at 9:30 is our typical live. I'm always open to suggestions on topics. So if you have a topic that you think would be good for us to cover, by all means, hit me up in my inbox. You can hit me up on my other social media pages. It's fine with me. I don't mind the suggestions, because there's a lot of topics out here. There's a lot of different problems that people face. It's a lot that's going on. So let's talk about it. The whole point of this is to be solution-based, right? That's what I'm here for, to be solution-based. So like I said, Thursdays, 9:30. Any suggestions, feel free, let me know. But that's all I got for you tonight. That's all I got for y'all tonight. Appreciate y'all hanging in there with my little mini vent sessions. I had to get some of the stuff off my chest, man. Had to get some of it off my chest. You said what, AJ?
We haven't stayed on this long. We haven't stayed on this long in a while. Almost 3 hours.
Yeah, it's been a long one. A long one. So, yeah. But that's all I got for y'all this evening. So, I appreciate those of you that have joined. Appreciate those of you that have followed. I really do. I've gotten a few messages this week from people that inboxed me and told me, like, hey, your videos have helped me. I appreciate the fact that, you're speaking the truth. I appreciate what you're doing. And I will tell you what, I really do. Those messages mean something to me. They truly mean something to me, because I get so much negativity directed towards me. I get so much hate and anger directed towards me from men and women, because they don't like the things that I say. And it can become very overwhelming sometimes. It becomes very irritating sometimes, as you see, because normally I'm much cooler. But, sometimes it's like, damn, how much can you take? How much do you want somebody to take when they get mad at you for nothing? You know what I mean? So when people take time out of their day to inbox me to tell me that my videos and what I'm doing had a positive impact on them, I promise you that means something to me. That's always my confirmation. That's like, hey, you're on the right path. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You're walking in your purpose. Keep on fighting the good fight and keep on shielding yourself from the negativity that's being projected, because it's overwhelmingly more negativity that comes my way than positive. So for those of you that do reach out to me and have reached out, I thank you. And I certainly do appreciate you taking time out of your day to let me know that you found my videos helpful. I truly appreciate that. Yes, they haven't. Well, thank you, Mr. Andy, sir. Thank you. You know, I try to have, conversations with people in the comments that talk like they have sense. I try to engage with people. It's I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me tonight, because they've been irking my nerves these last couple weeks, but it'll get better. I'm trying to weed the energy off my page because I don't like it. I like the conversation. I like having grown folks conversation. I like being able to come to an understanding where we can see both sides, where we can understand, oh, that's why they do that. Well, now that I know that's why they do that, how can I adjust my behavior to make this work better for both of us? It's the whole point of this, you know what I mean? So that's that. Y'all folks have a good evening. I thank y'all for joining us tonight and sticking it out for so long, because hopefully I will see some of y'all next week. And that's it. Thursday, 9:30. Go to the profile, hit the Linktree if you're interested in the group sessions or one-on-one. That's it. Have a good night.
All right, holla at y'all.